Hi guys, we are at the FF Salon in Money 2020. My name is Emily Redding.
I'm Don Riddick from Featurespace.
Thank you so much for joining us, Don. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I think this is going to be a good one. You've already met our fabulous Jose.
He's incredible.
Isn't he? Already getting to work. What I typically do, I might jump behind and give him a hand. I'm learning some new skills here
I like
as well.
that.
I might do.
I like that.
Don't worry, I won't touch the scissors or the razor.
That's fine, just coloring?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
great.
I mean, maybe a pink for you,
I do
right?
like pink on the sides, maybe.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll see if we've got any in the back. Okay, should we jump in?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Don, why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So, Emily, I am the company secretary for Featurespace, which means I'm kind of the interface between the board and senior management.
Okay.
And I'm responsible for making sure all those books and audits and everything's happen. And then I'm also the chief legal officer, so I'm responsible for everything from contracts to compliance and risk and regulatory affairs. So my job is for a company like Featurespace, which provides services to financial service people, to make sure that we're helping them meet their needs and requirements.
Right, so you make sure that you're kind of, dotting the I's and crossing the T's,
Exactly.
and everyone's talking to everyone.
The person who stays to pay the bill when everyone else goes off and has more drinks. Okay. That's me.
Okay, that's
They're
great.
necessary, but not in the front.
Yes, I like it. And so you've got two pretty big roles then.
I do.
What's it like managing those two? Are there enough hours in the day?
No, never enough hours in the day.
Is
No.
your work ever done?
No. And we're global, so we have customers in 42 countries, so there's always someone somewhere.
Yeah.
So the best part is if you make everyone around you kind of have fun and be vibrant, then they're more than willing to help cover until you're awake.
Yeah.
And can do it yourself.
Yeah.
But I guess there's some jobs that you kind of dread the next call.
Yes.
And then there's some that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what happens next. I am always in the wait to see what happens next category.
That's a nice space to be in.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And what's it like managing, I can imagine, lots of teams across lots of different countries with different priorities? You say you want everyone to feel like they're having fun and they're in a good place. How do you instill that culture?
So mostly I ask what they want to do. And then they tell me what they're interested in, what they like. I help them get there. And so that makes it easy. The less it's about me and the more it's about them, the more they'll do incredible things I never thought of. So we had one person who was a contract manager. She has an amazing story. But she moved from Bosnia to Oslo to London, just a fantastic story. But anyways, she wants to be a CEO. And I said, well, look, where you're at right now, I can help you understand the legal stuff. I can help you understand what goes on in a board. But then you need to move somewhere else to skill up. So we spent a year and a half helping her have all the experience and development she needed in order to run her own company.
Wow.
And then I helped her move to another place. So now she's on the commercial side, learning that side of the business. Who knows where she'll go next?
That is amazing. It must be really rewarding
to
have those initial conversations and then to see someone completely take off like that.
It is.
Did someone do that for you?
I don't know. Probably everyone. I feel like, I was very awkward when I was young. I probably still am.
You don't come across it at all.
But I had a lot of people that really took chances on me.
Okay.
And so that made a huge difference. So I was at Global Payments and TSYS for a while. And I just came in as a director, and I had some good ideas, and pretty soon they had me in the senior management teams advising them on things. They, no reason for someone in my position to do that, but they took a chance on my ideas, and I'm eternally grateful.
That's amazing. So I think they really saw the potential in the person as well. I think that's so important, like you say, to replicate that when you're looking after your own team and you're seeing new talent kind of come to the forefront.
Yeah.
What did you want to be when you were younger,
when
you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up?
So I always told my mother, I actually have something from when I was 4 years old where they said, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
And I said, an astronaut businessman. So
oh my gosh.
I'm not in space, but I am in business. So
You're
this
not
is good.
Far off.
Not far.
That's probably that's amazing. That's also an incredibly insightful 4-year-old answer.
Well,
actually.
of course.
Astronaut, we can all imagine spaceships are great, but a businessman.
That's right. So, fly up on there and then do some deals,
Yes.
and then fly right back down, right?
So it's like a superhero businessman.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really, that was it.
I think we all
like
should
it.
be that.
I agree.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Can you tell me some advice that you would give to somebody wanting to move through the ranks? It sounds like you already did with your wonderful team member who now wants to be a CEO, but anything that you would recommend people don't do?
That's a great question. So I did 14 years at IBM, and a massive company.
Yes.
I did some time at McKesson, one of the giant company from a revenue perspective. So about 3 years ago, before I started working for Featurespace, I was in a massive explosion. In fact, you can see this hand still has the skin graft. I don't have any. I have freckles here. I have nothing here. I have some burn scars and things on me.
Goodness.
I was in a helicopter. Basically this I don't know how to do the translations very well, but let's say 5-gallon petrol can exploded in my hand. In fact, you can see there's one area where I have freckles. That's where the handle was. And then so they did skin grafts, and I was in ICU, and I almost died, and it was really quite scary. And so covered in bandages, just awful. And when I returned from that, a couple of things happened. The people who visited me, who paid attention to me, were not the people I expected.
It's so interesting, isn't it? When the chips are down, who
really care.
Who really turns up?
And the other thing is, I said to myself, look, life is short. You never know what's going to happen. It doesn't matter if you're in the peak of your health. I just climbed Mount Fuji a few months before. I mean, I could do things.
Yeah.
You never know what time you have. What is going to be the most fun and interesting things to do, and who are the people? And so at Featurespace, I said, well, I want to work with Matt, Martina, and Dave. They were vendors of mine, but they were so fun. And so I said, I'm going to go work at Featurespace because I want to have fun, and I want to do something interesting, and life is short. Was I successful as a vice president in a massive national company? Yes. Could I go work somewhere interesting? So what's the mistake? The mistake is choosing a place that will lead maybe to career or financial success, but will kill you inside.
Yeah.
And so I think people really need to think not about what career they want, but how they want to feel each day, and what sort of relationships they want to have.
That's incredible. What an amazing story, Don. So, do you mind me asking, so you were in a helicopter, looking ahead to the future.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to?
Oh, so there's always something new.
There is.
We've got a couple of new technologies that we launched one this year. We got a couple more coming out that I'm super excited about. I'm really interested in seeing, so like instant payments and fraud detection and helping the underserved. There's about a third of the world that we're so blessed to have so many tools in the financial services system. Seeing those deployed to the other 2/3 of the world is really exciting.
Yeah. Let's even the playing field just a little bit.
Do you remember? So when I was in college, right? I was often worried about whether I really knew what was in my bank account. I might have had checks going out or some debts or things. How do I keep it all straight? There are places where that's still the case.
Yeah.
There are places where merchants aren't immediately paid after they receive, they give out the goods. So how do you protect those people whose livelihoods are in those shops with good financial tools? And how do you protect them from scammers and fraudsters and money launderers? So, which
is now becoming, it's almost like even that side of things, they are upping their game.
They are.
You see the fraudsters and the scammers.
Have you seen the new fraud as a service sort of dark web sites where they're actually using AI? They're selling apps to fraudsters.
It is unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the pace of change that we're seeing at the moment is almost for anyone. It's too much to keep up with, isn't it? How do you navigate that with your teams? If people are beginning to feel, I mean, you start to look at it, it almost feels like too much of a mountain to climb. How do you keep people kind of focused and on track and not looking too much at the scale?
While there's always kind of change, it's never a blank piece of paper that you're writing on. So I have a couple of patents to my name. I've invented some things. Everything I invented, you immediately will have to list all the other similar inventions, and you immediately humble yourself. You're like, look, is it really new? So, I mean, you look at like large language models, right? So everyone's like fascinated by them. But there are other types of generative AI that have been occurring for the last 10 years. And so rather than saying this is something scary, ask the question, how have we dealt with similar things before? And that makes everyone focus, okay, go out and find things that are similar and new that people might have already worked on.
Yes.
It turns out there's a lot of that.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of smart people in the world.
Yes, so even if there's some vast differences,
yes.
chances are the challenge in which you're trying to overcome has similar kind of traits of something else that we've
exactly
done before.
Right. So like the Mercedes-Benz Stadium has this amazing, cover on top of it that goes on and off, and it's like the first in the world, and they did some really clever things. But there are other stadiums that also had things. If it's not the same, maybe they learned something from it.
Yeah, I agree. How are we doing on time, Jose? It's looking great already.
Oh, this feels great.
It is fantastic. It's nice to have a little pamper, isn't it?
Oh, I thank you so much for this, and I thank you for this. I'm sure I look 100 times better.
Okay, should we do the big reveal?
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll swivel you round, see what you think.
Oh my gosh, that looks great. You feathered as well, thank you.
No problem.
Oh man, now
Good. Happy?
they won't know me. This is great.
Exactly.
I'm so pleased you like it. Well, Don, this has been a fascinating conversation. Thank you. I'm
Thank you,
sorry we
Emily.
didn't have any longer, but it was a
Oh,
real
no,
pleasure
this is
to meet
great.
you.
And drop by any time to continue
Will
the
do.
conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.